Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll continue with my text parser, and my goal is to parse multiple assignments. Let's add a line to the ini text. Right now, the tokenizer assumes that tokens always come in the order text assignment operator text. However, it shouldn't care about order at all. It should just handle whatever it gets. If I'm gonna do that though, it would be nice to keep track of what type of tokens I have. So I'll create an enum for that. And I'll add it to the struct. The first token is text. The second token is an assignment operator. And the third token is text again. Okay, how's the tokenizer going to figure out which type of token it's dealing with? I'll start with detecting text tokens. If the first character I see is a letter, I know I'm dealing with a text token. And any letters that follow also belong to the token. So when the tokenizer starts, I'll check if the first character is an alpha character. And I'll define an alpha character as anything between A and Z, or anything between A and Z, or an underscore, because why not? For this to work, I need to include stdbool.h, otherwise C doesn't know what a boolean is. What can I say? It's an old language. Alright, well, I already have most of the code for the text token. I just need to change the while. As long as the next character is also alpha, I keep adding to the token. Assignment operator tokens are even simpler. If the first character I see is an equal sign, then I know I'm dealing with an assignment operator. In that case, I only need to skip one character ahead. Just check for an equal sign, and I already have the rest of the code. I can lose the remaining code because that deals with the text token again. Let's see what I have so far. Well, it only picks up the first token, which is just as well, I guess, since the array isn't large enough anymore now that I added an extra assignment. So the array needs to be bigger. And the tokenizer should keep running until it finds the end of the ini text. However, the ini text is not just text and assignment operators anymore, there's also white space in there. So let's do the easy thing and just skip any characters I don't recognize. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let's check one of the tokens, just to be sure. All good. For the parser, I want to do a similar thing. If the first token I get is a text token, then I'm parsing an assignment. If it's something else, well, then it's an error, and I'll just skip it for now. So check the type. If it's anything but text, just ignore it for now. And because I want to parse multiple assignments, I'll put this in a while loop. But that raises the question, when does the parser stop? If I look at the tokens I have right now, I can see that the last two tokens are garbage. The tokenizer didn't fill them with anything, so those values are just random. That's an easy fix, just zero the tokens array. Well, that's more predictable, but I still don't know what I'm gonna test for. Note that the type is now always text, because behind the scenes an enum is just an integer. And the first entry in the enum gets the value 0. So if I add a type at the beginning of the enum and call it none, now I have something I can test for. There you go. The only problem is that the parser stores only one assignment, so I need to put the assignments in an array. If you remember from the tokenizer, I can't create that array in the function because it will go out of scope. So I'll create it in main and pass it to parse. That also means that I now need to keep track of the current assignment. And of course, I need to go to the next assignment. Let's check the result. Okay, I'll deal with that in a minute. Now this looks just fine. Cool. Next up is the memorizer. It needs to be able to handle multiple assignments. So the buffer needs to be bigger, as well as the table of entries. Okay, the function needs to accept an array of assignments, and I need to store an array of entries. And while I'm at it, I should increase the buffer size because I have more characters now. By now, it probably doesn't surprise you that I need to keep track of the current assignment and the current entry. Use the current assignment. And the current entry. This still deals with only one assignment, so I need another while loop. Let's see if this still makes sense. I copy the key to the buffer, then I skip forward in the buffer by 1, this adds a null character. Then I copy the value to the buffer. I also need to add a null character there. And now that I have a loop, I need to go to the next assignment and to the next entry. Okay, again the question is, when does the loop stop? Now an assignment doesn't have a type or anything, but key and value should never be 0, so I can test for that. But I do need to zero the assignment array first. And right now it's actually not big enough. Let's add some space. Re-enable the generator, and now it should work. Nope, the get function is broken. Don't really care though. How about now? The buffer is filled, good. Entry 1, good. Entry 2, good. Good. That leaves fixing the get function. Knowing the key I'm looking for, I start with the first entry and look at its key. If it doesn't match, I go to the next entry. When I find a key that does match, I can look up the value and return it. But if none of the keys match, I will eventually reach an entry where both key and value are 0. At that point, I stop and return null. Let's uncomment this. I need to keep track of the current entry. Then I loop through all the entries, and I know I've reached the end if the key and the value of the current entry are both 0. The settings buffer is already being zeroed out, so I don't have to do that, but I do need to add an extra entry. That will be the zeroed entry that marks the end of the array. Alright, don't forget to go to the next entry at the end of the loop. Now, as soon as one of the entries matches the given key, I return the value. If none of the entries match, I return a null pointer. That's it really. Let me create some test cases. Yeah, font is monospace, color is white, immortality not found, but I'll live with it. That's it for now, but next time I'm going to do some error handling. So subscribe if you want to stay up to date. Check out the description for links to the source code and stuff, and if you like my content, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, and remember, coding is fun.